Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hi my dear students, how are you? I hope you all are well by the grace of Almighty Allah. Alhamdulillah, I am fine by His grace. I am MD Nurul Nabi Talukdar, Assistant Teacher, Madhub Pasha Chanudip High School and College, Madhub Pasha, Babuganj, Borisha. I hope you all are at your home and you are maintaining hygiene properly. As the time is not going well, we have to maintain the rules of hygiene and we have to take balanced diet which builds up antibody in our body. As per your online classes, I discussed about various topics in different classes. In your previous some classes, I discussed about transformation of sentence. In our previous classes, we learned how to transform a sentence in affirmative, negative, assertive, exclamatory, assertive, interrogative, active, passive, and positive, comparative, superlative. Today we will discuss about simple, compound, complex. So today we learn about simple, compound, complex. So you have to gather knowledge in simple, compound, complex. First, we will see how we can identify a simple, compound or complex. Simple. How we can find out a sentence as simple. I went to school yesterday. In this sentence, there is a principal verb went. If we find any sentence with a one finite verb, we will identify it as simple. If we find any sentence with a finite verb, only a finite verb or only one finite verb, we identify it as simple. In this sentence, went is the finite verb, and this finite verb is able to complete the sentence, so it is simple. Compound. If we find any sentence which is combined in two clause or two finite verbs, if any sentence combined with two finite verbs and if two clause with two finite verb and if the two clause conjuncted by and, but, or, as, so, then we will recognize it as compound sentence, such as he is poor. This is an assertive sentence. He is honest. This is also an assertive sentence. In this sentence, is the finite verb, and in this sentence, is the finite verb. That is two sentences. But if we use but to combine these two clauses of two sentences, and we made it in one sentence. If we combine two finite verbs with and, but, or, as so, then it will be compound sentence, complex. If we find any sentence with a principal clause and subordinated clause, there may be several subordinated clause with a principal clause. And if we find any sentence with several subordinated clause, and if there is a principal clause, we will recognize it as complex sentence. And if we find any relative pronoun or relative adverb or interrogative pronoun which is used as relative pronoun, then we will recognize it as complex sentence. You have to change from simple to complex, or simple to compound, or compound to simple, or complex to simple. But first, today we learn how to transform a sentence from simple to compound. So our today's topic is simple to complex. Simple to complex. If any simple sentence if there is any simple sentence with participle, I think you know about participle. When we use ing with any verb, it is called participle. If we find any sentence in simple with any participle, it starts with participle, then how can we change it into complex? Now we will see. Closing the door, I went out. This is a simple sentence, and this sentence starts with participle. If any simple sentence starts with participle, then how can we change it into complex? If we find any sentence starts with present participle, then how can we change it into complex sentence? If the clause of present participle indicate time, then we will use when. If the participle clause indicate reason or causes, then we will use since as. Closing the door, I went out. This sentence indicate time. When any participle clause indicate time of work, then we will So we will have to write the subject of second clause. The subject of second clause is I. So we will use I. We send the tense of participle clause according to the tense of second clause. As second clause is in past tense, I went out, it is past tense, so we send the participle clause in past tense. So the past form of clause is closed. The door. We don't need to say the second clause. Let's take another example. Having forgotten him, returned home. Having forgotten him, I returned home. This sentence, this clause indicates reason or cause. When the clause of present participle indicates reason or cause, we use since. According to previous rule, we use subject. In this clause, there is no subject. So we will use the subject of second clause. The subject of second clause is I. So we will write I. We will have to change the tense. We change the tense of present participle according to the tense of second clause. The second clause return is in past tense. So we will change the clause of present participle in past tense. The as having. So we use past form. The past form of had is had. Forgotten. I returned home. We don't need to send the second clause. Think about this. If we find any simple sentence with 2 dot dot 2, then we will use so dot dot that. So how we can use so dot dot that instead of to? Now see, the man is so poor that too poor to manage 3 meals. If we find any simple sentence with to, then how can we change it or transform it into complex? Between to there will be an adjective. Then we will write subject verb. Instead of to, we will use so. And instead of to, we will use that. Okay. When we transform a simple sentence with to into complex, then we will use so instead of to, and we will use that instead of to. Then we will have to use the pronoun of first subject. The subject is man. So what is the pronoun of man? The pronoun of man is he. Then we will have to write cannot or could not. If the first verb is in present tense, we will use cannot. If the first verb is in past tense, we will use could not. Is indicates present tense, so we will use cannot. Okay. Then we will write from the to the remnant of the sentence. Manage 3 meals. By this we can change a single sentence with to into complex sentence. In complex sentence we will use so dot that instead of to. After that we will have to use subject cannot or could not, and the end from to at the end of the sentence. These clause will not be changed. Okay. If we find any simple sentence with infinitive to, then we will use that instead of to. We will use that instead of to. And you know that after that we have to use can or could after subject. If we find present indefinite, we will use can. If we find past indefinite, we will use could. He works hard to shine in life. If we find to with infinitive and if to indicates purpose, then we will use so that instead of to. We will use so that instead of to. Instead of to, we will use so that. Then we will have to use another subject. So what subject we will use? We will use the pronoun of first subject. As he is the pronoun, so we don't need to use another pronoun he. Then we will have to use can or could. If first clause indicate present tense, we will use can. If the sentence is in past tense, we will use could. Was, he worked. This is present indefinite, so we will use can. If the sentence is in past indefinite, we will use could. As the sentence indicates present indefinite, we will use can. Then we will write from after to at the end of the sentence. Shine in light. Okay. If we will find any sentence with subject, verb, adjective. If adjective in object modify the subject, then how can we change it into complex? Then the structure will be eat plus to be verb according to tense. Then we will use subject. Relative pronoun of the subject. Then verb plus adjective. If we will find any sentence structure subject, verb, adjective. If adjective modify subject, then how can we transfer the sentence into complex? See, health is wealth. Health is the subject of the sentence, is the verb, wealth is the object, and it is adjective. If adjective modify subject, then we will transform this sentence into complex by following this structure. By following this structure, we will use it first. Then to be verb according to tense, as it is present indefinite, we will use am, is, are. After it, we will use is. Then we will write subject. The subject of the sentence is health. Then we will use relative pronoun of the subject. The relative pronoun of health is who is. Then we will use verb object. The verb of this sentence is an adjective of the sentence wealth. Now try to transform this sentence. Honey tastes sweet. Honey subject, tastes verb, sweet adjective, and this adjective modify the subject. And how can we change it? We can change it according to this structure. Eat. First, eat. Then to be verb according to tense. As this is present indefinite, we will use am, is, are. After it, we will use is. Then we will use subject. The subject of the sentence is honey. Then we will use relative pronoun of the subject. The relative pronoun of honey is who is. Then we will write subject, verb. Verb, adjective. The verb of the sentence is tastes. Then adjective, sweet. By this you can change the sentence work is workshop, it is work which is workshop. Okay. If we find in spite of, despite of, in spite of being poor, he is honest. Despite his illness, he couldn't go to school. After despite of, we can't use of. We have only used despite. Instead of in spite of, we will use though or although. Then we will write subject, verb. In this sentence there is no subject, so we have to use the subject of second clause. The subject of second clause is he. Then we have to change the verb according to the tense of second clause. The second clause indicates present indefinite, so the present form of being is poor. The second clause we need not change the second clause. If we will find despite or despite, we will use though or although. And as his is in in possessive case, so we'll use the subjective form. The subjective form of his is he. Then we'll use to be verb, as there is no verb in this sentence. As couldn't go indicate past tense, we'll use was, were. After he, we'll use was. Then we'll use the adjective of the noun. The adjective of illness is ill. And we need not to say in the second clause. Couldn't go to school. Okay. And from this I am going to finish my class. In our next class we will discuss how to transform a sentence from complex to simple. Till you will keep fit. If you go out, you will wear masks, must. Always maintain the rules of hygiene. Always take balanced diet. Balanced diet will increase our antibody. Thanks everybody to join with me. I advise you to carry on your studies properly and always try to keep at your home. Always say prayer. Bye everybody.